Hello, my loves. Okay, so topic of choice is OCD, Obsessive-Compulsive Disorder, and I'm making this video for a viewer that requested and asked if I can make a video on OCD, and I would, like I said, I would be more than happy to do that because I suffer from OCD and have since I suffered from OCD since I was like about 12. And my OCD started with always having to be clean. I would take lots of showers in one day. Like I wouldn't just take one or two. I would take like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 times a day because I always felt dirty. So I would just keep showering. Now I did some research, even though I know a lot about OCD, but I want to put some of the stuff, like what it is, and in case, some of you guys do not know, which I'm sure a lot of people that have OCD know what it is, but for the people that don't know, oh god, yeah, I almost dropped you, I'm so sorry, that don't know what it is, I'm going to explain right here, okay? Obsessive-compulsive disorder is an anxiety disorder characterized by uncontrollable, unwanted thoughts and repetitive behaviors you feel compelled to perform. If you have OCD, you probably recognize that your obsessive thoughts and compulsive behaviors are irrational, but even so, you feel unable to resist them and break free. That's kind of how I feel with a lot of, like, when I'm like organizing something, and someone touches it, I freak out because I organize it a certain way and I don't want it to be touched. So if someone touches something that I worked really, really hard on to organize and they touch it and they mess it all up, I freak out. Like a needle getting stuck on an old record, obsessive-compulsive disorder causes the brain to get stuck on particular thought or urge. For example, you may check the stove 20 times to make sure it's really turned off. Your hands until they're scrubbed raw. Or drive around for hours to make sure that the bump you heard while driving wasn't a person you ran over. I was just being silly. Now, obsessions are involuntarily, okay? Seemingly uncontrollable thoughts, images, or impulses that occur over and over in your mind. It's like it could just get stuck forever and ever and ever in your mind. You don't want to have these ideas. In fact, you know that they don't make any sense, but you can't stop them. Unfortunately, these obsessive thoughts are disturbing and distracting, and it's like they consume your life. Most people with obsessive-compulsive disorder fall into one of the following categories: washers, checkers, counters and arrangers, hoarders, or doubters and sinners. And washers are afraid of contamination. They usually have, cleaning or hand washing compulsions, wash their hands excessive or brush their teeth like 1,000 times a day. That was me. I used to brush my teeth so many times a day for like a long time that I'd like ruined my enamel on my teeth. I just like literally scrubbed it all off. Checkers, they repeatedly check things, like I said, like an oven or the doors. Like my mom has a little bit of OCD, I think, in her. Like she'll always check the doors in the house to make sure that they're locked, like a lot, like not just at nighttime. She'll check, and we have an alarm system and everything in our house, but that's just what checkers do. They make sure everything is checked a lot. Doubters and sinners are afraid that if everything isn't done perfect or done just right, something terrible will happen to that person or they will be punished. I don't really fall into that category. I fall more under like the washers, the checkers, and the counters and arranging are obsessed with order and like alphabetizing things, or in colors or arrangements. when I was living on my own, I used to organize my canned goods from like letter A to Z, and I would do it in colors. Like my laundry, I don't wash, or I don't wash. Like when I do my laundry, I don't dry anything except for sweatpants and like socks and underwear. That's all. Everything else I hang dry. In my previous videos that are now not on YouTube anymore, but I would sometimes, if I made a video that day and I was doing laundry that day, you would see all of my clothes hanging up on top of my window, and it would all go from t-shirts to tank tops, down to like shorts. And what it was is it was all color coordinated. It would go from like dark colors to light colors to like no colors. I don't know. And like, if you touch it, I'd freak out. It has to be that way. My underwear drawer, I've gotten a little bit better with that, but I usually, with my underwear drawer, I wear all boxers. I wear all American Eagle or Hollister or Abercrombie boxers that look like this. I'll show you, because a lot of my old videos have them. I wear all boxers that look like this. Hey, getting up close and personal, girls. All of my boxers look like this. They're all from American Eagle, or like I said, Hollister, American Eagle, or Abercrombie. I don't wear any other underwear. But they're brief, low-rise brief boxers. They're guys. Actually, they're boys. They're little boys. And here's Zara really quick. Zara, what's the matter, Bubba? Can you give the camera a kiss? You want to get down? Sissy, put you down. Come on. You want to get down? There you go. Look at her. That's Zara. I'm puppy sitting right now because my mom had to go to the hospital to see my grandma. But that's Zara, and all of her toys are like laying around my room. Zara! Okay, so back to the topic, OCD. And then there's the hoarders. Hoarders fear that something bad will happen if they throw anything away. They compulsively hoard things that they don't need or use. I don't really fall into that category at all. Actually. I don't hoard anything. I used to hoard food, but that was more of because of my eating disorder, not really because of OCD. Okay, so signs and symptoms of OCD. And I put them under, like, categories, because that's the OCD in me. Like, I have to have them, like, categorized. Oh my god, that does not sound right. Whatever, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so common obsessive thoughts in OCD include fear of being contaminated by germs or dirt from others, fear of causing harm to yourself or others, intrusive sexual thoughts or images, excessive focus on religion or moral ideas, fear of losing or not having things you might need. I lost my place. Ordering things in the right way, the idea that everything must line up just right, like perfect, straight lines, perfect lines. That used to be me. Like, I would actually get out a ruler and make sure that everything was, like, if I lined up my medicine bottles, they'd have to be in alphabetical order as well as in a very straight line. Okay, so those were just thoughts of OCD, and now behaviors of OCD include these, and they could be more, but these are just some that I wrote down. Excessive double checking of things such as locks, appliances, and switches. Repeatedly checking in on loved ones to make sure that they're safe. I do that a lot. I check in my family to make sure that they're okay, like over and over and over. Counting, tapping, repeating certain words, or doing other senseless things to reduce anxiety. Spending a lot of time washing or cleaning. That's me. Ordering, evening out, or arranging things just so, like in order, Praying excessively or engaging in rituals triggered by religious fear. And accumulating junk, which is like hoarding, such as, like newspapers, magazines, empty food containers, or other things you don't have any use for that are just basically just garbage and that you're just holding on to for nothing. Um, there is therapy for obsessive compulsive disorder. Listen, minute, Baba. Come here. So, I mean, if you think you have any of the following, if you don't have a therapist, I suggest maybe talking to one. They do have medicines that can prevent things from getting worse. I actually know somebody that her OCD is so bad that she has piles, like, of certain things. Like, I can't use names, but what she'll do is she'll have, like, a dog pile for her dog, like, piles, and then, like, riding clothes because she, like, rides horses. So piles of stuff, like a pile for this, a pile for that, and it's piles. And if someone messes with them, it, like, disturbs her and she freaks out and she'll yell and get really, really upset. It's it's sad. But 4 steps for conquering obsessive thoughts and compulsive urges: relabel, refocus, and revalue. Do not take the OCD thought as face value. It is not significant in itself. And last but not least, the thing I have down is other treatments for obsessive compulsive disorders: medication, family therapy, or group therapy. And antidepressants are sometimes used in conjunction for therapy for the treatment. However, medication alone is rarely effective for OCD. Family therapy. I don't believe in family therapy. I go to therapy, but I don't believe in family therapy. My family's not really there for me like that. And then group therapy is another helpful obsessive compulsive disorder treatment, through interaction with fellow OCD sufferers. Group therapy provides support and encouragements and, decreases feelings of isolations, make you feel like you're so alone. Because usually people that have OCD, they feel so alone, you know what I mean? Like, they feel like they're crazy, but they're not. And, it's always good, in self-help, you educate yourself. Practice the skills you've learned in therapy. That's what I try to do that. Stay connected to your family and your friends as much as possible. I know it can be hard sometimes if you don't have, like, an understanding family. That's kind of where I fall into category. You can learn relaxation techniques like, yoga and deep breathing and other stress relief techniques. I actually do deep breathing techniques I've learned in therapy. They don't necessarily always help, but that's pretty much all I have written down. And if it's you or a loved one that has, OCD, mix humor with caring, like, don't laugh at the person because they can't control it. So, I don't know. I want to make sure I'm not... Okay, I have to end this. I'll make it into a part 2. Ciao.